Melbourne to me for Australia is like Sin City.
Do I actually not care about things, or am I delusional?
I think everyone belittles a service that they don't have to do themselves.
She made us a playlist. Trash. Horrible.
And then the lady goes, hey, no, excuse me, sir. Come here. Excuse me, sir.
Looked at the door handle. It was shaped like your heart.
Yes. I'm gonna need the aunties to stop commenting on what we're wearing as well, and just let everyone just face their front in 2022.
Face their front.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Disruption Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we're far away from home today.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we are.
10 hours.
Yeah, it's been a long 10 hours and more. We're all tired, but we're very happy to be here. We're in
Oh
Sydney.
yeah.
Snore the Baghdadi.
It's Chief Olasoji in the building, baby.
It's your girl, Moeezy.
The Prince was happening.
Else.
And we're joined by a very special guest. Someone who's actually visited Melbourne quite a bit. So it's kind of nice to be on this side.
This was meant to happen at a point in time
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not calling you out,
I feel like a draw out, to be fair. Like, I feel like I've been cornered.
but it almost happened. But yeah, who do
we got the one and only Judea, better known as CMJ.
Yes, sir, yes,
Welcome
Sydney's
to
favorite
the
DJ,
podcast.
apparently.
CMJ of
Is
Sydney.
that true? Is it true?
I would like to hope so.
Yeah. Say with chest.
I'm
Say
sure
with
it's
chest.
true.
Of course, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard Sydney's got good DJs here.
Sydney has amazing DJs. Sydney has amazing DJs.
Where do you rank them across Australia compared to like Melbourne's DJs? To be honest, it really
Yeah, I was gonna say like.
Hey, honestly,
there's only
just
somebody in
You
Perth.
know what? What I'm gonna say is, over the last year,
Yeah.
I've intentionally tried to keep like my eyes open for what's going on like around Australia.
Okay.
And Perth, I can name quite a few DJs from there that are like really, really good. Ade Boy is one. Shout out to Ade Boy.
Nigerian?
Brisbane, yes. Nice.
Sounds it, yeah.
Yes. Nigerian
Brisbane
name.
has sick DJs. Check, Amel, D Chili.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some sick DJs in Brisbane. Melbourne, we know Melbourne. We don't have to talk about Melbourne.
half of
You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
Sydney has amazing DJs.
Oh,
Kenobi, Talisha. There's so
Seem like
many.
you're struggling there a bit.
Don't do that to her.
I was like, if I start naming people, someone's gonna at
You'll
me.
forget
Yeah,
someone,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know those moments when you are stuck in that, you have like, okay, you've got a list of people to say, you're like, you know what, you name two, there's so many I can't even
Literally,
name
and
them.
you
That's the
just
safe
say,
way out of that.
Everyone's amazing. Love
That's it.
everyone.
Of course.
But yeah, two.
You love Melbourne low key, yeah? Like you've dabbled a bit.
Melbourne, do you know what? Melbourne's a vibe. I can't lie. I will never say it's not. But I can't live in Melbourne.
Right.
How
That's
come?
crazy. Is it too much is going on, or what is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Hey, too
People
much is
do say
going
that quite a
on.
bit.
It's a lot. I feel like Melbourne to me for Australia is like Sin City, only because you could do anything. Like you
What?
literally could do anything
I
in
can
Melbourne.
see that.
That's true. That is
You could
very
access anything. You could do anything.
Yeah,
you could
it
be
is.
anything. Melbourne is wild.
Pretty
Interesting.
hedonistic. I'm
Hedonistic.
realizing, yeah, it is,
Nah,
it is very hedonistic.
What you used to, because we live in Melbourne, right?
Hedonist.
From what I know, anytime someone moves to Melbourne, they always get lost in the sauce.
Like,
Yeah.
For the first 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
It's
the
always
Hab City.
the half
Yeah.
city, and then now when they get used to it, now it's you either get lost completely or you find your way around.
Not gonna lie, when I think about it, there's been people, right, where they've been posted in Melbourne and like they're doing a madness, right? You know, living a interesting, you know, living their truth. Yeah. And then they'll move to Brisbane or Sunshine Coast or Sydney and they find themselves.
And they're good.
And they're
Yeah.
good.
And I always see the opposite happen. It'll be like, yeah, I'm moving to Melbourne. Melbourne's amazing. I love it. Like they'll go for one weekend. Usually they'll be like, yeah, it's Habs. Love it. So much to do. And then they'll move to Melbourne and then you won't hear from them for like, I don't know, 2 months, 3
Yeah.
months. And then you hear from them and they're like, dude,
A lot happened, bro.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I feel like Melbourne's definitely vibes, but it's too much for me to live. Like
Were you
visit.
born and raised here?
Raised here, born in South Africa.
Okay.
Oh, not even knowledge. Hold on, this is news to me. This is
It
interesting.
is.
What?
Hello, hi, trader. I'm Nigerian originally. My parents are Nigerian, but they spent some time in South Africa before I was born, and then I was conceived and born in South Africa, and I got here when I was like less than a year old.
Yeah, literally just here the whole time.
Just-
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so born, raised, I don't know. So I just say I'm born here sometimes because it's really weird
just
explaining
cut
that
it
whole
out.
story to everyone.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Oh my days, right now. Yeah, that's kind of like interesting for me as well. The same thing where I think even literally yesterday when I was picking up the hire car, someone goes, or the lady's like, "Oh, like I sense a bit of an accent there." I don't think I have an accent, or like at least if I do, I don't know what it is. Like I can't put my finger on it. It's a blend between everything. Like born in Nigeria, raised in Australia, watched way too much UK content,
Sure,
and then now we end up here. And they somehow get American out of that.
They said American
All the time. Remember when we were in Gold Coast?
TikTok comments.
Even
all the time,
TikTok,
like, why
yeah,
do
they
you
Why are they
guys
putting on
call
American accent? I'm like,
Sound
this guy has pretty much lived there for too much of his life. And I don't know what mine. You know what it is? It's a deep voice mixed with all of that. I don't know how US comes out of there. I almost told the lady I was from Chicago. I was like, no, I was born in Nigeria. She's like, Where did that come from?
I feel like in Australia, for a lot of maybe white
I love
Australians,
the
their direct reference to black people is Black American. So that's what I've seen anyway, especially in Sydney. Like a lot of the time, if someone's trying to relate with me or like trying to pinpoint where I'm from, it's America or Canada, because I guess that's their first reference.
Yeah.
Different.
That's mad. What's it like making it here? Because I always hear people say that, we're talking about Melbourne's where you lose yourself, Sydney's where you'll find yourself. Yeah. So, like, I think something we've always spoken about is how this feels like a really, what do you call it? Do we say corporate and head down? Do we say it's fast paced?
I think definitely fast paced where everyone is just on the move, head down, walking. Just I don't know. I think last time
Sydney or Melbourne?
Sydney.
Definitely more Sydney than Melbourne.
Yeah,
I think I notice it more when I'm in Melbourne, like how chill everything is and how friendly, like more so friendly people are. In Sydney, you never really take notice until you notice, but you don't see people's eyes. You don't see their teeth. Like, I don't know. That sounds really weird.
I'm telling you, just head down fast paced.
I'm gonna look out for this tomorrow.
Literally, pay attention, especially
This guy's
maybe
gonna
not
end
so
up
much
arrested.
on the weekend.
Yeah.
But like during a work week,
Yeah,
I
mad.
think you'll even notice it more because my 9 to 5, sometimes I'm in the office. So I'll drive into the city. You notice it more when you're watching people from your car. Like people move like they can't see you.
Yeah.
Like it's just go, 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 go.
Okay, but driving here is just trash.
It's
This is the
Yeah.
worst road rules and roads and
I
everything
agree.
in Australia.
Cameras everywhere too.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we got one on the
Everyone's
way
so
in, so we'll
close,
wait for that
yeah.
letter to come.
Oh, you guys got a fine on the way?
We think so.
We hope
It's,
not.
man says shotgun. No. I hope that your
better
face
find-
is there, bro.
There's no way you drove in Sydney, you didn't get a fine. There's no way.
There's cameras literally every 100 meters. Like all the cars are so close to each other. It's madness.
The roads are really tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cameras.
Damn, man.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not even on an intersection. It's just
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 post it up.
randomly.
24 meters up the street. They're like, yeah, probably a good spot.
Yeah, just make
Yeah.
sure. It's probably a good
Probably
spot.
make some
No,
dollars.
deadass. Probably a good spot. And then the worst part is like as you drive further west, the potholes.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
All my days, we're driving in, and there's a sign that goes, beware, there's potholes. We're like, wait, y'all came here to put the
this
sign?
is the mad-
And you didn't just fix them?
This is on the Hume. Like, this is far. I said, you guys drove all the way here just to drop off the sign and not.
And then
And not
the other way.
Why? Like, why would you do that?
Ridiculous.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
no, Sydney potholes. No. Shout out to the mayor of Sydney though. Like he's really doing his job. You know, highlighting all
mayor?
the. Yeah, you haven't
Who's
heard of
that?
the mayor of Sydney on TikTok?
TikTok.
You guys need to. Check
All I
out
know
the mayor of
is
Sydney.
Dominic Perrottet or whatever, yeah? That's the.
The actual mayor of the people.
Right.
So there's the mayor of
Okay.
there's mayor of New South Wales, but they're like the mayor of the people.
Okay.
On
Is this the
TikTok.
self-appointed?
Different.
Mahmoud?
That's the guy.
He's going to be on in a couple of
Okay. Interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he'll tell you more about the potholes.
I told you guys, that's the voice of Sydney. We need him.
Okay.
Literally.
I
Interesting.
love that.
That's the the people appointed him. Shout out to Dominic though.
Yeah.
You gotta tell us more with the potholes.
Goodness, man. But yeah, in your still like not specifically a scene, but like navigating, moving around, like does it feel like you can get what you want to do, like or you can achieve what you want to do here, kind of thing?
100%. I would say I don't even think it's a Sydney thing. I think for me, my background is I did business and IT in uni, and I work in IT as like 9 to 5 as well as DJing. And I feel like whether it's professional, whether it's creative, whatever the case may be, in Australia, you have the opportunity to be able to chase that to like any extent. The only problem you will face, maybe on the creative side, is the lack of structure or the lack of blueprint for what you're looking to do. Like you guys would obviously know.
Oh yeah, we know.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But no, 100%. I feel like if you're switched on and you want to make it and you want to make money, you definitely will be able to make money in Australia. Like there's no way. I always have this conversation with my friends. I might even ask you guys, like, do you see yourself settling down in Australia, like full-time, family, everything, or do you see yourselves outside of Australia?
For me, because I've moved around so much in my life, like as a kid, that was the life my parents chose. For me, I'm like, honestly, at this point, it wouldn't have mattered where they chose to settle. That's where I would have lived the rest of my life. If it was Antarctica, but Melbourne for me was like, it's genuine. I'm like, this is the best place in the world to live. Like, if we were talking about today, if we had your weather,
It was finished.
Melbourne weather
undisputable.
We had Melbourne weather for a bit, which was so weird. I was like, what's going on here?
Spoke to the mayor real quick and
God
sorted it out.
forbid.
Because that's not my story.
I got here this morning. The weather here in Sydney was beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I was
Like,
It's
yeah.
very.
When was the last time you guys put air conditioning on, man?
bro, when was the last time we took hoodies off? I have nothing else to wear.
Yeah.
Stupid episodes.
But yeah, okay, settling anywhere else. I think I've always said probably post up. I'd stay in
Where?
Australia, definitely. Melbourne, I think is a solid yes for now. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was something like flexible at some point. I have no idea what could take me there. Like, as in somewhere else in Australia. Definitely not
that'd be like an
Tasmania.
option.
I feel like a Perth or a Sydney.
Like, that's literally those are the two options that came to mind.
Wait,
Perth or
why
Sydney.
not Tasmania though?
Like, I'm not gonna go
what
from
did Tasmania
Man, Demons Land.
Literally nothing, and that's why.
It's too
I
quiet.
can't
over
go
there.
from Melbourne weather
Yeah,
to
no.
even worse in Tassie.
Actually,
Like,
yeah.
why am I doing this to myself? You know?
That is like a weekend thing for me.
I heard like it's lit in Tassie. Let me not lie. Like I heard there's haps like more than Melbourne.
Wait, what kind of house is
I've
that?
never heard.
All types of haps.
Hateful Tasmanian told you this.
There's like orchid parties and like
Orchid.
yeah, like there's
The
heaps
flowers.
of orchid. Is it orchid or orchard?
Like the
The
flowers
flowers.
and that.
orchard, not orchid.
okay.
My sorry.
Nah, it's all good, it's all good.
All of it
Sorry,
sounded the same to
Nigerian,
me.
I'm
Yeah.
Nigerian.
South
Yeah,
African,
yeah.
Nigeria, all of that. Yeah, you know, we get it.
Orchard parties.
So, like, in
Orchard's
the
the one
flowers.
with the trees and the apples. Yeah.
Huh. So what, people just
That's
turning
very
up.
interesting.
Garden of Eden.
This is garden of
Exactly.
That sounds like fun.
Ah, yeah,
That sounds hedonistic.
yeah. That's crazy. No.
Tasmania, not for me.
Yeah.
Definitely not Tasmania. I don't know about Perth. I
Perth, the beaches, man. It just looks beautiful.
Yeah. It's
That
very
lifestyle. And it looks less Caucasian than Queensland. So
Yeah, Queensland's a different breed, not gonna lie.
Boy, oh boy.
I don't know what it is. I wonder if there's an element of me that's like, I want to still feel like my hands are tangibly holding something as well though. Cause like, if I think of somewhere like Perth and you're mentioning like beaches, I'm like, bro, am I swimming every day or what, bro? Like,
retirement.
like yeah. I'm like, okay, at what point is that? And even if it's like retirement, I feel like even within that point, I'm like, I feel like I'd still want
Community.
to be,
or something, yeah.
be quite involved in community, work still and things like that. So I'm like, I wonder, what does it even look like when we talk about like settle down and relax? And if it's somewhere like Perth, then it's like, I don't know if I can actually do that because I feel like I'd just be completely chill. Or completely like everything is like settled down fully now,
I think that's the cool thing. Like as we're talking about the cities, each city provides something different.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like what are you trying to do? What are you looking for when you do settle down, or like what age or stage in your life? Because if we're talking about Perth and the beaches, you're talking about retirement, just sitting by, your balcony with your tea and just looking out. Melbourne, it's very haps. Everyone's on the go. Everyone's trying to achieve the next thing. Sydney is, corporate, but it's also vibes too. So you get both. I think Melbourne is definitely though. I feel like I would, if we had Sydney's weather, perfect place. Absolute perfect place. There's nothing wrong there, TBH.
You just don't like traveling a little bit.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it in me. I don't have that
travel.
the itch desire in me. I'm trying to, get it, but I don't know. I just don't see what other people see.
That's very interesting. Do you mean like outside of Australia?
Yeah, just traveling to see the world. Like obviously I would love to. I recently went to Bali and that was probably the first place outside of Africa that, I've been to because I went back home. But other than that, like these guys will be talking about, I want to go to this place. I want to experience this. I want to see that. I'm like, it would be cool, but I'm not itching for it or anything.
I'm itching for it. I'm asking for it and dying for it.
Dying
for it.
Are you a travel, like you want to travel, see the world type of person? Yeah.
Definitely. I think I just feel like there's so much to see and so much to learn. My parents were really big on traveling as well. So before they settled down and had me, they'd gone to like hella places.
Yeah, man.
So
you ruined their plans.
basically, sorry.
Cut it short.
Are you only child?
No, I'm oldest of 4.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Nice.
okay.
Oldest of 4.
Responsibilities.
Hella. Hi. Me. Responsibilities. That's my name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I just really love the idea of, those things that happen that you can't really tell someone about. Like you just have to be there.
Yeah.
I love that. So.
And you have that story to be able to like, and
Exactly.
when you try to explain it, you don't even do it justice. Kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
And it's even better when you get to share it with someone else. But if
Yeah.
not, that's cool too. Single are cool. But I love the idea of getting on the plane, going anywhere. I mean, I don't get to do it as much now because of work, but it's definitely something that I'd love to do.
Have you traveled as a DJ yet?
Not officially, no. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, not officially. Hopefully by the end of this year, fingers crossed. Well, do you mean like outside of Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. But within Australia, yes, because, CMJ of Australia.
Come on.
That's it.
Come on.
The episode of CMJ of Sydney.
Yeah, now, hey, yo,
Australia.
the money's up. The
I
price
love
is
it,
up.
love it.
That's the
By
way.
the
That's
end of the
the.
episode,
Yo.
price has increased.
That's it. Yeah, yo, that's the way.
Funny you say that though, because that is where I feel like that was the first time I had a conversation with you. Was in Melbourne at Reload at the start of the year, and even like before you came in today, I was telling the guys, I was like, she's super, like you do a lot, like between your day job and the DJing stuff and all this kind of stuff, and I think we're all pretty similar to that. It's like, how do you find that? Like, do you ever go far out? I only want to have one thing on my plate, or are you kind of like, I love having all these different things, and I like the. Is it chaotic in your schedule, or is it like super figured out?
Because it's very different as well, going from IT and then now you're going to DJ.
I mean, it's very different. I think I genuinely enjoy it because for me, it's like balance. Like I see it as balance because my 9 to 5 is great. I enjoy that too, but DJing is different to that. And I am able to go from one thing to the other and enjoy both and enjoy basically best of both worlds. I think that's once again Australia, like being in Sydney has allowed me to do that as well, like because I'm working from home, I have the freedom to be able to practice as opposed to, for instance, if I was in the office all day. So yeah, I guess I said that really badly.
Just told all her bosses that during workouts.
They know. They know.
They're on teams then. They're just seeing a little. Okay,
Literally,
what's going on in the
funniest
background
thing
there?
was while I was interviewing for this role, my manager who interviewed me had like a DJ deck set up behind him.
What?
So literally, the moment he turned on his camera, I saw the deck. So I was like, I'm getting this show.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm getting this show. So
Nah, that's my daughter's anyways.
I'm actually trying to get her out of the profession.
Want to throw it out.
Can you focus, please?
I love
Madness.
it.
that would have been so messed up.
That's crazy.
Be like, DJ decks? No, they're horrible. God, no.
Lack of concentration.
Bro.
Horrible human being.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested. How long have you been doing DJing, and how did you get into it?
It'll be 5 years in October 1st.
Hey,
Nice.
Independence Day and that.
Literally, my first gig was Nigerian Independence Day. Shout out to the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 5 years, and I started. My hustle for music has been like a long time coming. Let me not lie. Way all the way back to LimeWire days.
Oh, those days.
You would download they'd lie about what you're downloading.
Bro.
When you download, it's just the same.
It's the same thing. It's either Crank That Soldier Boy.
Many men.
Bro, with the
Many
Dodo
men.
dial-up, man.
Bill Clinton's voice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, facts.
But I think my initial love for music definitely came from my dad. Like my dad's a big music head. He loves reggae, like loves reggae. Peter Torch, Lucky Dube, like Bob Marley. That's his bag. And then he kind of brought me into like, I think it was called like the rubber dog era, which was like Shabba Ranks and Shaka Damus and Pliers. So I grew up listening to that while we're cleaning the house on Saturdays.
Nothing's getting
Typical
clean.
hassle.
Nothing's getting clean.
Just yo.
That with like Fuji music,
Yeah,
gospel music, like there was just always music in the house. And when I realized that I could make money from like, you know, making CDs and selling them at school, I did that.
Man. Entrepreneur.
I love it.
Literally, I was the go-to person for like parties in primary school, high school.
In primary school.
Yeah, from like grade 4.
iPod on shuffle.
Grade 4.
Not even an iPod. I used to carry like, you know those CD bags?
Oh
Yeah.
I would have like all my CDs labeled properly.
Yeah.
It'd be like April 20, whatever year that was. I'm not giving away my age. And I would take it to parties, literally just vibes. Yeah, that was my thing.
I can imagine you cross-legged or like lying down on the bed,
100%.
feet doing this. You got your permanent marker out,
My
just going,
Sharpie.
hey, yo,
They're
this
gonna
one,
love this.
right? This one's gonna bang at Becky's party, man. This is gonna go dumb
Literally.
today,
There
man.
was
With the
this one
juice boxes.
CD that had like Pitbull Hotel Room. It had like
Transitions.
J-Lo. It had not even transitions. It was the hits, the knock you downs, like whatever year that was. It had the back-to-back hits.
So you download all those songs individually and then.
100%.
I just used to buy the So Fresh. I don't
The
think
So
that's
Fresh, yeah.
So
So
Fresh
Fresh
was
was
good.
So Fresh, yeah.
So
Just
Fresh
like that
was
CD.
good.
Now this is music or whatever.
What is it?
You guys know that hit?
Nah.
Now I remember
Yeah,
now.
now.
I remember Ministry of Sound.
Oh, yep. That was very UK.
There was one that DJ Tickles used to do. Like,
DJ who?
Tickles.
Nice.
That
Nice,
sounds
DJ
like
Tickles.
a horror movie.
Don't do that. We don't know.
I was gonna go.
Is that disrespectful?
You guys don't know DJ Tickles?
No.
I didn't grow up here.
Is this a Sydney thing? Okay, yeah. Is this like, I don't know if it's a Sydney thing. I don't think it's a Sydney thing.
You're gonna have to enlighten us.
Very, very, very like popular islander DJ that was
Word.
like up there with the R&B, brought in
Okay.
the Afro beats at one point.
Okay.
Wait, all right.
You guys, DJ Tickles, shout out to Tickles.
Yeah, I might suss this afterwards.
But he had like a dope R&B mix that I think that was the first CD that I listened to that had like sick transitions, and I really, really sat with it. Even till now, like I could tell you what song comes after each other,
man.
like how it's transitioned. It's so imprinted in my brain that there's some R&B songs still today that if I hear it, it sounds weird because it's not remixed like that.
Right. Okay, yeah.
What's your, like, if someone was to, what's your favorite genre of music to listen to? Not to play, to listen to.
I don't think it's a genre. It's just chill. Like, okay, so the way my brain works is because I listen to like a lot of music, I can't separate them in genres. I just kind of bunch everything that feels the same together. So I have like a playlist that's chill, hype, and
Gotcha. So chill. Is the vibe.
just chill vibes. But like my go-tos are usually like Melvito, Gabsy, Oxlade, Division, PND.
Okay,
Chill,
I see,
yeah. That's
What were we saying about P&D a couple of days ago?
He's good.
He's bringing R&B back.
He's a good songwriter.
But
I think something like doesn't, I don't know, like, I just don't get the hype overall. Like, he hasn't proven enough.
Oh my God, did you not experience Summer 16?
I mean, to be honest,
Where
no,
were you?
it's-
P&D is like, I feel like, who is Drake without P&D? That's the thing.
Well, that's a whole nother thing about that sweatshop over there.
The sweatshop.
The OVO
The
special.
Like, all these guys locked up can't release an album.
Literally. I have not seen I Love Mal Conan in years.
Oh, he got dropped off.
Oh, really?
A long time ago. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, that's it.
No,
There
but
you
there was
go.
a bunch of them. Yeah, even
Nav,
Swear Nav just
Was-
dropped something.
not Division, the other
is
guys.
one.
Magic Jordan.
Oh,
They
Mr.
actually
Jordan,
had a pretty good.
Division
Damn,
as
I
well.
don't know
As
any of
well,
these
yeah.
Donnies. What were you leading? Where were you going with the question?
So basically, because me and Daniel, we have a friend, and she was trying to convince us that Taylor Swift is real,
Oh my gosh.
and it just isn't for us. But we were like, I want to be open to.
She made a playlist
she's
for
got
us
opinions.
too.
She's got opinions.
No opinions at all.
No.
Yeah.
No opinions.
We were like, we want to be open to what someone else enjoys, and like, we don't want to just hate for the sake of.
Yeah, because we're also trying to put them on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, what was the introductory album we gave?
So basically, I told her, make us a playlist of
The
the
hits.
best Taylor Swift songs, and we'll listen to it and we'll give you feedback. And then we also gave her, because she doesn't get rap music at all, right?
Okay.
And that's our thing.
And now rap music and Taylor Swift is very different.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
very.
100%. But she was like, I'm willing to also
I can like
experience
tune in, all right.
an album. And so she made us a playlist. Trash. Horrible.
Oh my God.
Horrible experience.
Bro, I like Taylor Swift, bro. So that's
Good.
Bro, you like Blank
do?
Space and Love Story.
That's
Trust.
not bad still.
What song?
Give
Said
me
you
like,
do?
give me like,
Why?
name 3 songs. Name
Blank,
4.
blank.
Sorry, name 5. Sorry.
Yeah. Fine. Let's go
I actually
five.
don't know the name of the songs.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Something
okay.
story.
Love Story.
Love Story.
Yeah.
The first one she ever
Even
released.
I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Even
Carry
I
on.
can say I like that one.
Yeah, man, you said that.
Carry on.
All right,
4
cool.
more.
Blank space.
Yep. 2.
I don't know that.
2 down. Nice to meet you. Where you been?
Okay,
I can
yeah.
show
I like
you
the movie she
kinda-
did with Kendrick Lamar, Bad Blood. But
Bro,
like,
this
maybe
guy is
because that's some
naming
Kendrick Lamar.
hits,
I don't
bro.
know, but Loki, her verse was nice too.
Okay. Her verse.
Her verse?
Nice.
Like a
was the
song,
the whole-
whatever,
Yeah.
the whole song.
Hey, yeah, let me. Hey, talk
Bad
your
Blood,
talk,
hey,
boy.
check it out. Check
Go
it out.
off.
Check it out.
Check
Yeah.
it out, as if it doesn't have 3 billion views.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Man's talking like it's underground music, bro.
You guys heard of Taylor Swift?
Yeah. Give me.
He's trying to stalk.
That's
He
my
can't
top
think
3.
of
That's
What's
anymore.
what's the last 2?
He doesn't have.
I
He doesn't
don't
know.
have it.
And you know,
I
like
know-
those
I know
3
she's
were like
good. She's-
so mainstream
Yeah,
that I knew them.
exactly.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
literally.
those.
Like you didn't put us on
Like, I don't think
anything.
she's bad, so I'm just trying to understand.
Dog, your
So,
name
okay,
is
so
a
voice is
hit.
nice.
So Daniel and I
Nice.
worked out why. Basically, the reason I was asking your favorite genre because I wanted to know what album you would tell someone to listen. Because we basically end up giving her 2. We told her the album
Well,
about
3
Nothing
really.
by Wale.
That's a good album.
Because that's just a very nice creative experience. And then The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
But
'cause
then
to me, that's the best thing.
We were gonna
That's a
suggest
very
Made in
complicated
Lagos.
album, but yeah.
Made in Lagos, yes.
She has
Not rap,
type
but
of music.
yeah.
That wasn't
Something
rap or anything like
different.
that. We're like, all right. Well, we also like Afrobeat.
That
So
would be a
here's a
good
good,
gateway.
just a strong one vibe. The whole song I
Yeah.
describe as a one. I describe that whole album as a party, and every song is a different point in time during the night of that party. And that's what it feels like as you transition through the album. I was like, that'll be a great shout. But I think
What did she say?
well, she listened to
She
the album.
listened to the album and she liked
Quite a few
Wale's
songs.
stuff much
Wale's
more
one is
than we
easy.
like Taylor Swift. We figured out what's wrong with
Because
Taylor
that's a
Swift.
really good album.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's an album about nothing is one of my favorites.
It's good. It's very good.
So yeah, so what you figured out about Taylor Swift?
This is what's wrong with her music, right? Is that she describes
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you want me to
I
do a
walk,
song?
yeah, go.
I
You do one
walk-
line, I'll do the
okay.
next.
I walked to the door, looked at the door handle. It was shaped like your heart. I opened it and walked into your arms. That's her music.
That's
Okay, but then people could say that about Afrobeats and
No.
Wizkid.
So-
She told me that she loves me. She told me that she said this. She said that she loves this. She said that
We
she
don't listen to
doesn't
that
do
one.
this.
That is
Facts.
facts.
That's facts.
I mean, I love Wizkid though. I love Wizkid.
See, like,
Always
but
and forever.
Taylor
I think
does
it's
it
the
in a-
way she does it. She does it without seasoning. That's what it is.
Okay, see, that's a personal
Unseasoned
attack.
instruction.
No, because
It's not even the music, it's personal
Yeah, that's the
now.
best.
Yeah, no, I think she's just not it. Because like there's other artists that make the same type of music as her that I'm like I like. Like I really like Olivia Rodrigo.
You
Right?
do or you don't?
I
Oh,
really
okay,
do.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
She's-
like,
yeah, she's
and
good.
the music's not that different to be honest. It just sounds better when she does it. That's the other thing for me. I think her voice isn't all that.
Damn. Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish. Beyonce.
Anything else you have
Was
to
he
say?
wrong?
I know.
Was he wrong?
Go off, bro. This is your podcast.
Yeah.
So if that's what's wrong with her, then why she's so mainstream?
Okay, so because I was saying, right, something I found very, very interesting about music is like how, like the music that we listen to, yeah, a lot of people that would listen to Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, whatever else, don't ever listen to this music. But everyone that would listen to whatever music we listen to can also sit down and listen to that music too.
That's a good point.
So I was like, I feel like the music that they create, it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't challenge
It doesn't
you.
evoke a lot.
It doesn't require too much to be invested
Fair.
into it.
It's been chewed
Almost.
for you already.
I like
That's what it
that.
is. It's been chewed for you
processed.
already.
It's
Yeah.
pop music.
Yeah. Facts. Actually, that's what it is.
pop
It's pop
music.
music.
Yeah.
And I think that's also probably like when you mentioned that you guys gave her a rap playlist to listen to and she gave you a Taylor Swift one. With genres like rap or Afro beats or K-pop that's built on culture, you have to an extent, want to understand the culture behind
As well.
it.
Facts.
That
I like
is
that.
true.
That's very
You're really a DJ.
So like, I mean, as opposed to, I guess, like Taylor Swift or like most pop music that's built for like consumption. Like it's not real. Like there's a culture behind it, but it's a microwave TikTok culture, fast food culture. As opposed to like Afrobeats that you could trace back to like years with Fela. You could even trace further back to like Orlando or like, or with dancehall or with any other genre, hip hop even. You could trace all the way back to hip hop, Motown if you wanted to. So I feel like with pop, it's just always just been like a watered down version of everything else for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
yeah, if you really wanted to, I feel like if you really wanted to, you could like Taylor Swift. You could find like something from her catalog that you like, but it's kind of hard to do the reverse with like a maybe Burna Boy or like a deeper Afrobeat artist, like maybe I don't know, Olamide, for instance. Unless you really want to understand the culture, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, that's fact.
That's a nice way to put it. That's what we're going to tell them. Play this part for them, yeah. It's interesting that this, because as you're describing it, I kind of look at it as also now, what we realize is like people tap into the music for like different things and stuff like that, as well as just what they're going through in their own life or what they're interested in, what they're about. It's very, very different. So what's going to speak to you through music is very different too. I say that because I was listening to a pod, and this guy was talking about, it was the Graham Hancocks on Flagrant. Yeah. He's talking about all this, what do you call it? The pyramids and just hectic stuff, right?
Like Hotep stuff.
All this stuff about how like the historians are all getting it wrong. Now he's got alternative views, all da. Anyways, he's invested his life into researching all these different things. Man's got a debate with another historian from like the mainstream there's historian like beef. Yeah.
That's not how the pyramids were built.
Yeah, literally. He's got a pay-per-view event with another historian on Joe Rogan's pod in like October
like
or something.
Historian versus.
Yeah, man's like, it's like a versus. But he's full like promoting it now, hyping it up, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, as I was listening to, I was like, it's interesting that this is what this person has kind of like devoted their life to almost. And I was very, very intrigued in listening to everything this person had to say, even though I'm like, I couldn't care less about who actually built the pyramids or when, Pangea existed or when there was a comet and man was using words, a great cataclysm. And I was just like hearing all sorts. I'm like, it's all interesting and all. I guess I don't know how much it contributes to everything now, but it could maybe add another perspective to it. But I was like, you know what? It's still dope that this person is very, very interested in this thing. So I was like, those are the type of people that I actually like to listen to as well, or that I'm also intrigued by when they're very, very interested and passionate about something as well. So I was going to ask you guys as a blanket one, like what kind of people actually, how did I word it in the chat? I said, what type of people do you like? What type of people? And what type of people get on your nerves?
Oh, I love
as
that
well.
one.
We'll start off with like. Yeah.
Like
what kind of people do
it's crazy. I knew what I didn't like.
Immediately. But yeah, what type of people do you like? Yeah, do you like? Particular traits and things like that.
I really do like somebody that like loves, like, cause maybe it's just because it's me. Then I think that's how everyone should be. Like we all have that level of what do they call it, narcissism or whatever you want to label it. But it's like I'm the kind of person. If I'm watching a movie, I'm gonna go on Wikipedia. I'm finding out who this actor is and where they were born and all this. Like they just, if they're gonna invest themselves into something, dive deep into it. Yeah. But when I was watching The Office, I ended up becoming Michael Scott. Like I was like, this is the best thing in the world. I like people like that, where it's like when they get into a sport, when they get into something, like they fully
immerse themselves.
Want to know every single aspect of it. That like I don't know. To me, I associate it with the level of like interesting.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the NBA commentators. Like this is the first player ever to average 10 points under 10 minutes. And I was like, bro, how are this getting this stats this fast? You know what I mean? But yeah, it comes down to like the whole being invested in the sport and, being able to say all that. But that's a pretty good one as well.
Definitely. I think to piggyback off yours, I think a trait that I like in people is assertiveness. Yeah. So like,
why that specifically? Yeah.
I think it's just probably because I'm a first daughter, but just you know what you want to do, you get it done. There's no faffing about whatever information you need to get something done, you find it out. There's none of this waiting around for someone else to give you something to get something done. Like assertiveness is definitely I like that in people.
I like curiosity as well.
Yeah.
Curious person.
That's a good one.
Curiosity, yeah.
That's it. I was like, to dive deeper, bro. Like,
Because I was
boring to me right now.
Bro, because like when I think of people who are curious, you always see that they're good with conversations, and that's like Joe Rogan, for example. Like when you talk to him, based on his interviews, he's always asking.
I was gonna say, well, when did you talk to him, dog?
Just last week, bro. Just last week. So like when he's doing interviews, it's like this is the first time he's approaching this whole conversation. So his questions coming out of curiosity. You know what I mean? For us, it might sound dumb. It's like, why is someone asking that question? But it's like, when you're curious, it allows you to ask these sort of questions. And that's what allows you to understand things. So I do like that particular curiosity.
That's a good one.
I think if in terms of like sitting down and speaking to someone, the type of person, maybe someone opinionated, I always find them very interesting. Just like, someone who will stand on their opinion as well. Whether you're wrong or right, but just being able to stand on it, being able to explain it, even if your explanation is just absolutely whack. But it's just like hearing those type of people speak. They can also be annoying though. Like they can cross over to being interesting and annoying.
Right.
Yeah. Depends on, where the trajectory of the conversation and the topic and stuff. But those type of people are always, very interesting because it's like, did you do your research? Did you not? Like, where did this opinion come from? And why are you so headstrong on it as well? So I think, a combination of everything, actually.
That's it.
For sure.
Definitely fighting with them.
It's a good case to argue, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Didn't I say it? What did I say? I swear I thought I answered.
Did
I answer and ask at the same time? I think when I sent this in as well, I was thinking about a particular friend we have who... isn't that she's nonchalant? I don't know how to say that word now. I used to think it's nonchalant. She's nonchalant.
You're on your own with that one.
No, we heard a crazy one last week.
Oh, which one? What did I do wrong last week?
No, you, a friend.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Onomatopoeia.
No, why'd your eyes pop out like that?
Then they were adamant that we were
like
all
a Pixar
wrong.
movie.
I had to pull out the Google to read it out.
Wow.
That sounds like a Pixar movie.
Wow.
Yo, facts. Oh man, but no, I was thinking about a particular friend, and she's kind of like very not taking herself too seriously, but not in the way that you're like reckless or that you're sloppy or anything like that. It's more like they're not too seriously in the element of like, I'm willing to be the part of the joke, or willing to be what's the word here? Willing to be selfless.
Sacrifice.
Yes, sacrifice, but that sounds very serious when you say that. But like sacrifice in the sense of like it's never really that deep. Like it's all vibes, and like if this is contributing to
the greater good.
Sacrifice
To the vibes.
but yeah, when I say nonchalant, it's like like life is really never that deep, and like you're able to focus on some of the more important aspects of what kind of actually brings us together. So it's like those things you can brush over. I'm like those type of people that I really like, where it's like, you've got the perspective on this life thing kind of put into place kind of nicely, kind of thing.
Do you think you're that?
Do I think I'm that?
I think you are.
What do you mean by that?
You're so nonchalant about it.
I think
I tell you all the time.
I think to an extent, you just kind of like, hey, it is what it is.
It was funny. I was thinking,
when
when I was washing my face trying to get it together after my nap before, I don't know why it came to mind. I was like, yo, do I actually not care about things, or am I delusional like a little bit right now?
A little bit of both, maybe.
Not care about this.
No, straight up, I asked myself, I'm like, do I actually not care? Was delusion, but I think it feels nicer, man. It's lighter.
It is.
Life is a bit lighter, bro.
I think it's a bit. I remember we went to Costco.
That's another place.
So that is now one Costco.
This is hilarious.
to buy some stuff, but we didn't have the Costco card, right? But Mawa does. So we're sort of waiting for Mawa to kind of get there, but we're already there. So like, hey, we'll just enter. Mawa's half an hour away. She'll just kind of join us. And then the lady at the front's like, no, so you need your Costco card. And then Daniel's like, yeah, but my wife is coming.
Oh, I had some freestyle. Yeah, my wife.
The guy said, yeah, my wife is coming. She got the card. He's like, yeah, I understand, but she needs to be here with you. Daniel's like, hey, bro, let's go. When we just walked in, and then the lady goes, hey, no, excuse me, sir, come here, excuse me, sir.
I told this guy, look forward. I said, look forward.
I didn't know what to do.
Menaces, absolute menaces.
I said, look forward, bro.
We need to go, bro.
Oh my days.
Hey, we got our ingredients quick.
We got our stuff. And Mawa joined us.
I'll get that
Nah,
later, but I was
guys.
like, hey, man, come on, dog. Like, well, how you think I'm going to get out of here with this stuff, bro?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
going
you
to pay
have
for
to
this
scan your
big ass
card
trolley.
anyways.
I have to scan my card, cuz.
Oh my God.
You think I'm going to run down the
Bro,
ramp with this
Nah, you
trolley
can't.
full of
I'm
bottles?
actually so jealous in that moment because I would have left that trolley and dipped.
Turned around and left.
That was like, hey, I was trying to go back and say, but we need to listen, man. We don't have the card, does it? We're just gonna come hurry
That
up,
would have
bro.
been me in that moment. Literally.
Oh, that was funny
Literally.
time. Interesting.
So I think yeah, to an extent, yeah.
Interesting. It's light, bro.
No, it's a very good trait to have, I think. Especially like when you're on the polar opposite where you're like in everything and you can't take things like not.
Is that how
like,
do you feel you're like that, or that's
I
just
think I started off like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like probably DJing helped like unserious me.
yeah.
But yeah, I was very like shy and like to myself and very inwards.
Word.
And yeah, I think for the most part until I started like DJing. So a lot of time when I tell people I'm shy, they're like, yeah, okay.
We see you doing
do you
this.
We see you doing all that stuff. Like,
Gun
yeah,
fingers.
but I'm shy.
Yeah.
Was
Shy
feedback,
shooter.
was feedback like hurtful then at the start?
Yeah, very. But I would say that I was very, very lucky in the sense that the people that were around me, maybe it's also like the interest in the fact that no one else was DJing.
Right.
Like everyone that was around me was very, very supportive. So it was like very, a very safe space to kind of grow and like make mistakes. So much so to the point where like my first gig, the music just stopped like out of nowhere.
Oh no.
And I had like, there's a video somewhere of like all my friends like literally right in front of me going, yeah, come on, you can do
I
it. Come
love
on,
that.
like, clap it. And mind you, like first gig was Nigerian Independence Day, and we know how Nigerians are with music.
The side eye.
The side eye, what's going on?
What kind of DJ be this?
Come on, move this DJ from here. I was just hearing all that stuff, and all I'm hearing is my friends, yeah, come on.
I love it.
So, your environment's very, very important.
Yeah.
Like that helped me a lot.
Yeah, the environment's different. If this was a normal party and the music stops, you know what everyone's
That's your
saying.
last party.
DJ what?
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens. It actually happened to me 2 weeks ago.
Goodness.
But to be fair, my laptop it died. I had to replace it. Thanks.
Dang.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it happens. It honestly happens, and I feel like it's something that you kind of get used to. And I'm sure if you guys, like when you first started off, you probably do like 500 takes or like edits and re-edits and stuff.
disgusting.
But you become more comfortable, and you just realize that these things happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've lost like hella episodes.
We charge
Audio.
some to the game for sure. Everything we've recorded with someone we've released.
Oh, lucky.
Just because we're
Fortunately.
said unfortunate. Yeah, in hindsight,
shame,
we-
name and
No,
shame.
there's a couple out there where I'm like, this is
I want to hear.
amazing
I
art
want
image.
the tea.
Definitely gonna go back and watch those.
100%. I'm gonna watch all of your faces.
And you can definitely tell.
There's one where this guy looks pissed off at the guest. He's just like, I'm pretty sure he told the guest, "Do you want to leave?"
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's in the edit still. I didn't cut it out. I don't think I cut it out.
Really?
It was just useless. It was a useless episode.
Yeah. But do you know what? Okay, so on that, because we like shout out to Radar Sounds as well, Kenobi and Q. We interview some guests, and then you think like, why'd you come? Like you could have stayed home. You really could have stayed home.
Like
Yeah,
literally,
that's-
like
Facts.
on the whole, are like people that are passionate about what they do, all this kind of stuff. Like we've had people on before where it's like, all right,
What's
this is
the
gonna
point?
air it, but it's like musicians, and it's like they don't even care about music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to find out who's your favorite artist, who inspires you, all this kind of stuff. And the answers
I inspire me.
Nothing inspires
Myself.
me. Vibes. What do you mean
Yeah.
vibes, bro? Cartel or what?
This guy. Bro. Yeah.
So that for me, I'm like, okay, well that, yeah.
Well, that's an answer to the type of people you
Yeah,
don't
the
like.
type we don't
Yeah,
like.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely add that.
I was gonna say though, is it like an assumption that people who are doing something, especially in the creative scene, you have to be comfortable with, this type of interaction, sitting, being interviewed, and all of that?
Not necessarily. I don't think that's fair to do to people. But if you are stepping into that space, you should be prepared for that.
100%. It's also because this is like, let's be honest, like, especially
Let's be
when we
honest.
started, like, it was not like somebody's label going, we need you to do an interview with these guys. And it's never like that. It's just like us reaching out to them and
And
then
they
like,
say
oh yeah,
yes.
we'll come through.
Yeah.
And then they're just a wet blanket.
Oh my days. That's got beef.
You need to stop.
beef.
I
It's
agree.
not that deep.
Like,
no, yeah,
it's
no,
not even
no,
like
no,
a
no.
one at this point. I need to go back
Ah.
and check everything. Literally. But it's true. Like, I think I'm going to get in trouble for this.
It's okay, me and you both.
So we're in this
It's a good
together.
episode.
I genuinely feel like not everybody starts something or gets into something because they love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure.
That is true.
Especially in our generation, I want
Yeah.
to say.
We have a lot of accessibility. I
The
think.
clout
Yeah.
is also more attractive than anything.
Exactly.
Sure.
So it's like you're playing with clout, you're playing with money,
Yeah.
you're playing with the fact that everything's accessible. You're playing with the fact that you have the opportunity to do anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will maybe just say something as popular or something as financially, beneficial, and they'll just hop on it.
Yeah, no,
'cause why
definitely.
not?
DJing's one of those things, isn't it?
I think DJing is definitely on a list of things that everybody thinks they could do.
Yeah, right.
So everybody will try at least once, or a couple of times. DJing, I've had it when I was doing makeup. I had the same. Like, I think everyone underlooks or belittles a service that they don't have to do themselves. Like, it's always easier to say, yeah, I could probably do that.
yeah.
Like, I'm looking at all these cameras and like, yeah, I could probably do that. Everyone does that. Like, if I had if I had 10 cents for every time someone's like, oh, you DJ, yeah? Oh, I reckon I could probably be a good DJ too, eh? I'd probably be
it's
like
the
a millionaire. The A.
DJ 2A.
I'd probably be a good DJ too, eh? Oh, I'll put together a playlist for you. I've had people like, I appreciate people sending me songs, but like, you're sending me songs because you feel like you're better than me.
Yeah, man.
You said, but try to play these ones next time.
Literally, I had a DM that someone sent me and was like, wow, you're a really good DJ. Your transitions were amazing. Here's a list of songs that I feel like you should add to your playlist to improve. I said, wow, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark from accounts.
Blank profile, no pictures. Thank you, I appreciate
Taylor
it.
Swift songs there.
Taylor Swift. There wasn't Taylor Swift, but there was Joanna. And
Oh, well, that was
that's all I'm going to say.
that was the here to improve. Get out of here. Date as options, right?
What do you think of the DJ scene today?
I think it's sick, to be very honest. Like, I think now, today, more than 5 years ago, you could pretty much start and play a gig within a month and build a following, and people will like mess with what you're doing. Like, I feel like there's so much room and there's so much opportunity at the moment that if you're prepared, you could do it. So, yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the scene at the moment. I feel like it's more challenging. That's another thing. Shout out to Kenobi, but we always used to have this joke where we used to keep each other in check. So, like, at a point, because it wasn't as cool to be an Afrobeats DJ before, like, we felt like we were the only two that were kind of, and Kimani as well, that kind of, like, kept challenging each other.
Yeah.
But now, because there are so many, it's like you have to be on top of your game. Otherwise, you'll look like trash. So
You've heard that already.
That's true.
yeah, it's a good thing. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I just wish more people would take it more seriously. That's all.
People that are, as in people that consume what you guys do, or people within the actual crafters, like other
Both.
DJs. Yeah.
On both sides, I feel like the appreciation is growing. Like, it's not at where it is elsewhere, but yeah, I think it could be appreciated a little bit more from both sides.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, from an outside point of view, there's a lot of good DJs. How does one stand out from the rest of the DJs, or even get the exposure to perform at Promisedland? Because you did that, was it last year?
Yeah.
Shout out,
Promisedland.
shout out to you for that, man. Congrats as well.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Your footage
Yes,
looked nice as well. Like that was
Yeah.
captured from like the time you were there too.
Shout out to Pharrell. He captured all my footage.
It was
That
nice.
was so sick. Promiseland was awesome. I think in terms of standing out as a DJ, I could only really speak for myself. And I remember when I was starting, the running joke was like, "Yeah, you'll be fine. You look good." And I was just like,
What do you mean?
what does that have to do with
Yeah, interesting.
So my focus then was like making sure that I actually knew what the heck I was doing. Like I played guitar, I played piano, like I have background in music theory. I understand like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that before you could compliment anything else, you're complimenting my skill.
Like that.
That's nice.
I think that was the first thing that kind of helped me stand out at a point. After that, you just have to be yourself. Like, and I feel we were speaking about people just doing things for the sake of doing it. I feel like that's where it really stands out. If you're doing something just because you saw someone else do it, you'll see that other person in their work. You're not going to see them for them.
Right.
And it also leads to like a lack of longevity as well. You're not really invested. You're not really putting yourself. You're not really trying to be original. You're not going to do it for that long.
You're like jumping off the back. Damn, Daniel. Jumping off the back of someone else's foundation as opposed to like building your own kind of thing. Yeah.
Literally. And that's not to say like I still feel like there's nothing that's original really nowadays.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I feel like everything still should have an element of yourself in it.
No, definitely.
When you get to Promisedland this year, tell them that.
What am I telling?
Okay, tell
I
them.
was scared. Sorry. I was like, huh?
Tell them that we've been grinding as they told us to keep doing.
Oh gosh.
Because we messaged them and they said keep grinding.
Told us keep grinding.
Tell them we've been doing that and say that we'll be very, very happy to be a part of things.
100%.
To stop grinding and be part of things next year.
100%. And you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up as well because like Promisedland was something that was kind of controversial last year.
Right. Yeah.
Representation.
Yeah.
And what I could say is like in Australia, especially in Australia, so many times we pull up brands for like lack of representation and they do jack all about it.
Yeah.
Or they tell you, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll post a black square on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I feel like Promisedland have really tried to like
Look
involve
like
the community.
For sure.
And for you guys, 100%.
We'll keep
I'm
grinding.
going to say that you guys will be there soon, for sure. Because I can open my TikTok right now, I only follow 2 podcasts. It's you guys and 90s Babies.
I will take that.
Visuals. The visuals are like...
Oh my
On
gosh,
point.
stop it.
We've been grinding.
We've
100%.
been grinding
Yeah.
for sure.
Took the advice.
Disruption podcast, Promisedland, soon come, amen.
Soon come,
That's
soon
it.
come, yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Talk
Or
to
even
me.
bigger.
Yeah, even bigger.
Yeah.
Talk to me about radar sounds though, because that was keeping people sane during lockdowns. For sure.
Oh, we were losing our mind and keeping everyone safe.
But obviously, beyond that as well. Like, what's the go with that? But even specifically, I want to hear about that period of time of lockdown because that was funny to like tap into.
Yeah, man. Radar Sounds is 1/3 My Baby with Kenobi, which is OVO, and Q. It started off with radio, which is what we do on Fridays on FBI radio, and it moved into events, but we literally started in lockdown. So we were like, what can we do to keep, I guess, build the brand, create a community, entertain people, and still kind of like push what we do, which is like DJing and MCing.
Yeah.
And we came up with the idea of like, the initial one was a versus between myself and OVO, and it was Nigeria versus Ghana.
Yeah.
So it was height of lockdown. Everyone is on Instagram.
Yep.
Everyone is on Instagram Live. And it just took off. Like it literally just had a mind of its own.
Yeah.
Random celebrities were like joining. We had like Nigerian and Ghanaian celebrities beefing each other in the
Oh,
comments.
love it.
It was so funny. And the whole time, like, me and Ovio didn't really realize what was actually going on in the comments because we're focused on DJing. Like, you know, to represent
He
the
doesn't know
country.
he doesn't know what's coming next for him. He's loading up the next one.
Doing up the transitions and stuff. It wasn't until like after where we saw like the screenshots and the reposts and like the DMs and people were like, this is so funny. I can't believe this happened. And we're like, I think we like stumbled on something.
Yeah.
So we kept the verses going and we transitioned it, tried to make it more official, Lincoln Radio, and then we started doing the music competition, which I think a lot of people found out about Radar Sounds, or outside of Sydney, found out about Radar Sounds, and that was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people. I think you
I was like, I was gonna win.
Money.
No, so this is you want me to tell you the truth?
Oh no!
Let me tell you the truth. I promise you,
Okay,
hand on
let's
my
hear
heart,
it.
this is the
Let's
whole
hear it.
truth.
Let's hear
Yeah.
it.
So it was like 5 songs you have to get right, was it? Yeah. I got up to the last one, and I said I didn't want the enjoyment to end for everyone, so I purposely lost it. I promise you. I purposely lost
He's
it.
sticking by the story.
Nonchalant,
Very
Very nonchalant.
What's $100?
Oh, I'm not even joking.
It was like an Uber.
It was the Uber gift card or something
You
like
wouldn't
that.
want an Uber gift card during lockdown.
Literally.
But I'm not even joking. I knew the answer,
accurate.
and I said, you know what? The enjoyment is
What was the
nice.
song though?
I can't even remember now.
But you knew
My
the answer.
category was I
It
think
was
I ended-
WizKid, I remember.
Was it WizKid?
It was definitely WizKid.
Yeah.
Because you did WizKid, and I think Ifa did. It was either Ifa. Oh, am I allowed to name people here?
I mean,
Someone else did
There's
WizKid.
a million of them.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember. Oh, okay, cool. So you didn't.
The
wanna ruin
vibes were
fun.
vibing.
No, the vibes.
So
were
I was like, because what are you gonna do after that? Good night, everyone.
Let me not lie. It got to a point where it was getting kind of expensive. I was just like,
It's too much.
I kind of don't want to give away another $50 to
Yeah,
a random
yeah.
online. But it was just,
quick.
it was just vibes. It was just
It was
too
very,
much
very
fun.
dope, yeah.
And we're so grateful to be able to have built such a strong community of people who know us not just from like events or from DJing, but just from being silly. And that's like a big part of our brand. Like anyone who follows Radar knows that we're heavy on the memes. We make so much fun of ourselves, and we want you to be able to do that too, and just have like a good time. Like life shouldn't be that serious. It really shouldn't.
So you're taking on the
Taking it
Nonchalant.
on.
Challenge.
Yes, it's not me. The guys have rubbed off on me.
Yeah,
They
right,
rubbed
right.
off on me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I met Q the last time you guys came down. Or did it come? Was it,
Oh, that was Ovio.
that was over. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
yeah. That was, proper vibes.
Always.
Person,
always.
yeah. I want to hear about the Nigerian community pushed up here because I think you all are doing it well in Sydney. Like the events,
Really?
got events?
I mean, at least okay. You know what? It's a social media thing. Then maybe you know.
Is it a big community?
I couldn't tell you. I don't live here.
That's facts.
That was petty. Hey. I think the Nigerian community was a lot more closer when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but like I guess everyone grew up and moved away. But yeah, like we used to have end of year parties like for the different tribes, like Odua, Edo, Igbo. Like there was so many opportunities for everyone to come
Sorry,
together.
you just actively didn't
Yoruba.
mention
Yeah.
Yoruba.
Sorry.
Just,
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I said,
Y'all out of this one.
sorry. No, but
No,
Odua
it's
was
fine.
the Yoruba one. Or maybe it's called something different in Melbourne.
it's cool.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, it was the Odua one here for the Yoruba community.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
And yeah, I feel like it just kind of separated over time. I'm not too sure what's happened or what happened. There's like definitely still people that we used to see constantly growing up that I
Yeah.
see out and about,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not as connected as it used to be. We should fix that.
For sure.
Yeah, because look, I mean, yeah, maybe it must just be like a social media thing. Because like I'd see, maybe also a big part of it is like the restaurants that are here. Though, like it seems like there's like
Little
quite
Lagos.
a few. Like is it Little Lagos? Is the or something?
In Sydney, I know of a Little Lagos. Like that's the Nigerian restaurant.
Yeah.
Shout out to my big bro, Egbo of Lagos, Ade Tokumbo. He's
Shout
actually opening another one in Brisbane.
Oh, nice.
Wrong city, mate.
Yes. Brisbane City.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Lekki. in
Where's
Brisbane.
Vegas?
But yeah, I think maybe just numbers. I feel like there's a lot of Nigerians here, but we're very spread out. Like
New
apart
South
from
Wales
the
is
girls'
big
hostel.
too.
Yeah.
Like, this place is actually Sydney specifically, massive.
Is it the same with Melbourne as well? You reckon
Melbourne's not as big though. Like, so there's actually just not that many of us in Melbourne. Like, I still know where most people have been posted up to. Like, no one's centrally located too tough like we used to. I think back in like early 2000s, church was a big part of it too.
Yeah,
you move
church.
here as a Nigerian, you're plugged in, like you meet everyone in church and you're seeing them like twice, 3 times a week because you have the church, you have a Bible study, you have a random another kind of whatever it is day kind of thing, yeah? And then there's always, the parties that are going on, all that kind of stuff. And then as soon as, let's say, people start moving areas, moving to new churches, like for a little bit of time, you move areas, but you'll still travel to the church. Blah, blah, but then it gets to the point they're like, hey, man, pastor ain't even preaching like that. Pastor's sermon ain't even banging like that anymore. And so, like, people just, so people will just move.
Finishes at 11.
Yeah, literally.
I feel like nobody knows commitment like Nigerian parents in their church.
That's true, though. That's true.
Like, you could live an hour away. They are going to that church.
Listen. And they're there opening the doors and closing them as well, man.
My goodness.
I remember we used to do get there at like 9 and we leave at like 2. And that's
I remember your Sunday, you'd always get back at 4 p.m.
Yeah, my Sunday's wraps.
Your Sunday is just church.
Yeah, Sunday is just wraps, bro. And I was like, bro, what do you mean you go from morning, come back at 4?
Put in a shift.
Literally, bro.
For real, man.
Yeah, but like back then, like you'd see a lot of people close in that regard. But then, as soon as people move away and all that kind of stuff, then things are spread out. But yeah, Melbourne doesn't even feel as big like that too. So I think there's just not as many of us down there or something like that, you know?
At one point, I felt like there was a lot of Nigerians in Melbourne.
Yeah, I know, everyone's dipping out. Yeah. It is quite interesting and crazy when you can tap into your community or your people. Like, you know where you can go to tap into that around you, you know what I'm saying? I think we're loosely talking about this in regards to like our parents and things like that, where sometimes you're in the tricky position of like, even the direction that you want your life to go into now, moving to this country, it doesn't even necessarily align with some of the values that you bring from your culture and the community that, you know, lives it up here. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that can translate with community and culture from where you've come from, but not everything actually applies to the type of life that you're trying to build, like here, and the reasons why you've moved to a certain place. Like, some mentalities actually that we sometimes transfer over hold us back in this type of a setting. Some of them free us in this type of a setting as well. And for our parents, like, we were looking at it, like, they were in a position of having to be like, hey man, like, I'm gonna have to cut my community off, bro, because they're holding me back right now, you know? But then you think about like us and our community, like when we think about it, we're never even thinking it too tough of like, who's it comprised of? It's who we meet and who we interact with here. And we just like build it up. And it's honestly an amalgamation of so many different types of people and cultures and stuff like that. But our parents had to like actively sometimes like sever lines and literally draw the lines between who represents and looks like them and things like that, because it just doesn't transfer to like this life, which is crazy.
I guess to an extent, the way we view it and how our parents view community is very different. Like how we view it is to people you come across certain values, you know, that's your community, like the creative community, this type of community. Where our parents view community as more of like the cultural sort of stuff, you know, because when I look at the community events that we do, it's like a dance thing. Everyone comes in and then they do the cultural dance, the cultural food and all that sort of stuff, right? That's how they view community. Right, which is why I can't really speak for everyone, but based on my community, which is why we don't see much of our parents kind of hang out with other people outside of their culture, because that's not community for them. Even though there might be certain values that will still align for them, that's not really community. Community is we share the same language, we share the same food, we share the same dance, we share that's community for them, right? So, which is why when I look at us now, the younger generation, we don't really be hanging out with our own community. Like I said, we don't view community the same now, which is why I hang out with this guy, like none of these, well, mine Sudanese, so that's calm. But I was going to say, like, none of these guys are Sudanese, but that's my community now. And I think a lot of us actually view it that way. But it's crazy, like, we're not actually hanging out together, but that's just the way it is now.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like we have, like, the advantage of the internet as well. Like with our parents, very much limited to your physical surroundings as your community. And I think it's probably the same story for a lot of ethnics that have to relocate or move to a whole nother country to start a new life. Yeah. It's like, especially I can say for the story of Sydney and how it's spread out or mapped out initially. If you focus on the suburbs, they're very much cultural, ethnic based. Like, because people would move over, tell their family overseas. Yeah. I'm in Leichhardt. Everyone come through to Leichhardt, or like everyone come through to Cabramatta. Like everyone was moving based on your cultural. So yeah, it was very much cultural based for our parents. But then I was also speaking to some of my friends who maybe lived in Nigeria and say decide to jackpot or travel overseas. In Nigeria, like, it's a newer thing to have, like, communities that are based on interests.
Right.
So, like, gyms or, like, here you'll see, like, an association for people that like beer or, like, an association for people that, like, I don't know, natural confectionery company jellies. Yeah. A lot of my friends were telling me in Nigeria, like, it's a very new thing, like rock climbing clubs or, like... Outside of it's just party
hobbies
exactly like hobbies. It's usually just party, church, and party, and
family,
food, family, and party.
What a cycle!
So I guess it's just having that option and the different ways that we can create our own communities.
That's funny because like we've talked about this stuff before. We're like, bro, all of our dads have no hobbies. Like, you man are rubbish, bro.
But you know what? They probably did. They probably did and then sacrificed.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely what it was. Yeah.
Because what did you ask me before? I think it was a couple of days ago. You're like, what did you say? Like, does my dad have fun or something? You asked? Or? Yeah. And I was like, my dad and my mom as well. I think for them, because they've severed ties with a lot of community, and not severed ties, that sounds so serious. Like they've positioned themselves in a different, put particular boundaries, whatever, with community and all that. I was like, do you guys have friends? And I answered no for them. I was like, you don't have that too many friends from the community around your age, but you have a lot of like children, right? Yeah. So me and my sister sometimes look at each other and just like, bro, there's another uncle and auntie calling our parents mom and dad again, bro. Like, come on, man, we get it. Hey, boundaries, all right? My parents. But I was like, you have a lot of, not too many friends, but you have a lot of like children in that. And I was like, I realized like my mom and my dad, they're not hobby, but their fun is literally always wrapped around each other. Yeah. They will find any opportunity to dip out, leave my sisters and us. And I don't know, spend 3 days in the city, or
that.
Go. My dad's got a conference. My mom would find any excuse to tag along to any conference. She's seen the world. She's seen the world through my dad's conferences. I'm telling you now. But like, they'll find any excuse to go chill and do their own kind of thing. I was like, is it lonely, or can you actually find your particular like safe haven, if I want to use that kind of term in there, within just your partner, and that's that, and that's all like the content, like you're content within that.
Satisfied.
They've got us, they've got their other children, and they've got each other, and then it's like they keep pushing like that. So hobbies and all that, it's like the hobbies don't even excite them, but seeing all these children do well and prosper, and then they get to celebrate with each other, maybe that's like enough or something like that. I don't know, why are you smiling?
Nah, because on the whole community thing, this was another topic that I had. It was just like, I don't blame my parents for also like cutting off a lot of like Iraqis and stuff, because some of these people just talk nonsense all day long, bro. Like, I'll give you guys an example. I know this lady that fainted at a wedding recently. People are telling her your pulse stopped and someone had to hit your chest to revive you, and she's like running with this information. It's just like, bro, like, grown-ups just making up stories for the sake of content for phone calls.
Not content.
She said not content.
Literally their
It's
version
the
of
haps.
YouTube.
It's the haps almost.
You guys are so bored. I'm like, I get why my parents ended up
cutting those
dissecting themselves from this.
But I genuinely feel like parents get to a point where they are bored.
Because
like their kids aren't around anymore. Everyone's grown up. They've left the house. Like,
friends are trash.
What else do you have to? Your friends are trash. And I feel like it's about to get really deep, but as life goes on and you lose people, and it's just like, what else do I have to do?
And
I feel like and the community can definitely be toxic though. It can definitely
It can.
because there's a lot of like trauma that's just been
big facts.
like covered up with everything else.
Recycled into other things.
Yeah.
And no one ever talks about it or brings it
Just
up.
throw an end of your party.
It's just masked.
Literally.
Literally. Throw an end, yeah.
Yeah, but the one thing that I will bring up, and I want to table it because it has to stop. I'm gonna need the aunties to stop asking when we're gonna get married.
Oh,
I'm gonna need the aunties to stop commenting on our weight.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna need the aunties to stop commenting on what we're wearing as well, and just let everyone just face their front in 2023.
Face their front. Face your front 2023. That's the
Face your front
slogan.
2023.
Face your front.
That's all. That's
No,
all.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I heard them aunties heard that nice and clear, bro.
Loud and clear.
Loud
Loud.
and clear, because
We're
bro,
tired.
I've seen.
What's that mean?
Bro, it's those aunties that I don't want to, shame anyone or anything, but
Shame
got
him.
nothing going on.
Shame him.
Nothing going on, bro.
100%.
The daughter is in the streets, yeah.
Come on, hey, say it with chest.
Nah, but the daughter's in the streets and they say, why you wearing this?
I mean,
And then I'm there like, bro, I'm eating my food. I'm in the corner. I'm just like, bro, if you know what your daughter's up to, now.
I don't think your daughter has any clothes on right now.
Crazy.
I will not
Crazy.
accept any auntie slander. Sorry. But it's true though. It's true. We really just need to be facing our fronts.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Do we need to start snitching on some of our friends to their parents then?
Oh,
or what?
man, imagine.
Or maybe even not the friends, but the people who know about, I don't know, drop some anonymous letters and just shut these aunties
It will
up.
blow everything up. If that happens in the Nigerian community, it will blow everything up.
Yeah, right.
It will blow everything up. So definitely. Because I think it was a podcast I was listening to. Sorry, it wasn't you guys. But it was another
Wow,
one.
okay.
I won't name them. But
Nice. No, shout out.
basically, they were like, every child has 2 images minimum. The way their parent sees them and the person that they are.
Yeah.
And then obviously you could break that down, like how
Yeah.
you see yourself, how the world sees you, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's always 2. And I feel like when it comes to maybe ethnics, I can only speak for Nigerians as I am Nigerian. We keep those 2 very far apart.
Yeah, man.
Oh, we
Yep.
try to. And it's not that they're usually 2 bad things. It's just that
They
there's a
can't
level of
coexist.
expectation that your parents will have for you that you can't waver with. And you kind of have to like make up for everything else with the other one.
Yeah, but damn. Speak out here.
I don't know.
Should we snitch? I don't know.
I don't know. I'd like to think parents know.
Know what?
They know.
What the kids up to.
'Cause they were
Surely
young
you
too.
know. I don't
was
know. A
watching-
little
Nah, I don't
bit.
think so.
Slightly.
Nah.
You know.
You know cut video? The YouTube stuff where they do like
Yes.
truth or drink.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. And I was watching a parent and children one. And
Which
it's
one was
like
it?
I don't know, recent one, right? And they're talking about like,
Is it the
have you
virginity
ever
one?
sent nudes? Have
Yeah,
you
yeah,
ever
yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
And
What's
these kids
that?
are answering the questions. I'm like, assassinate me before any.
Before I say that.
Before I ever have this kind of
100%.
conversation with my dad.
Woo.
Like,
Yeah.
impossible. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not the depth, but like, if your child is a bad child, surely
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if your child is, as they say in the streets, surely you know,
I
or
don't
you
think
have an
you do.
inkling.
You'd be
How
surprised.
can you hide it?
There's some aunties that I know that think they're
Nah, what do you mean, bro?
Golden
I
child,
think the
yeah.
personal, because even when I found it, I'm surprised myself.
No, but there's some stuff where they're like, oh, my son's so good, but it's like, but you see his eyes are red all the time when he comes home.
From working
Like,
hard.
Yeah, working so
It's a
hard.
long day.
What, Mac
He wakes
is
up
finished
early.
at 4 a.m. He's 27.
And it's one that's obvious, and that one is like obvious.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
That's-
either that or like parents just have like a ridiculous amount of unconditional love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it's like, I don't get when you combine that. Like, that's fine, the unconditional love. And then also trash talking about someone else's kid.
Yeah.
It's like, that's where it's like, okay, now you
Yes.
have lost your marble.
That's the
Yes.
take the speck out of your eye,
Yeah.
the plank out of your
The
eye
whole
100%.
before the speck in
Bench.
someone else's. Yeah.
That's literally always the case though.
Yeah, nah, it's mad. That's to the flavor and the spice ultimately, you know what I mean? Of the
And the trauma.
and the trauma. The trauma, bro. But we're unpacking that. Unpacking.
Unpacking.
We're this generation to unpack it, man.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like Oh, I can say around my age. I think we're all about the same.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I feel like our generation has like that job of liaising between our parents and the generation after us.
Yep.
Unpacking all our parents' stuff and helping them unlearn, and then also helping the new guys learn. And it's like, it's us.
That one is so wild. I was having like conversations with my dad about like love languages and stuff, and like telling him like, yo, my sister receives love in a different way. And he was like, he got like not frustrated, he was like accepting of all the conversation, which was dope. But he was like, do you realize how much more knowledge you have than I had at your age? And he was like almost frustrated by it in a sense, where he's like you guys are lucky.
Yeah.
All this was just there on the internet and everything's like
so
and
available.
because you grew up around so many different people. You just had these conversations naturally growing up, right?
That's true.
He's like, for us, it's like we had one community growing up.
True,
And
one
that was
perspective for the
one
most
perspective.
part,
Everyone shares the exact same perspective. Everyone does relationships the same way. Everyone does children the same way. Everyone does, you know,
It's all word of mouth.
Yeah. Literally. Oh, that's interesting.
That is so nice, though. I really love the fact that your dad accepted it. Like, that's really, really nice.
Needs to apply it. But, you know. That's stage two. That's stage two.
We'll get to that.
We're getting there.
All right. Oh my goodness.
That's dope. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I do recognize the time, and I know you got to slide out to go do some radios and all them. You know what I mean? Get onto radar sounds tonight. But what can people, I guess, look out for when it comes to what are you cooking up?
What's going on?
What are you personally focused on? Not even necessarily about your work, but what's happening around you, kind of stuff. Like, where can people put their attention?
It's a lot, to be fair. There's a lot happening. The first thing I'll say is stay tuned or miss out, because the community is growing. Like, there's a lot that's happening. Sydney, Melbourne, just all the way around. I think more specifically, Radar Sounds is working with Promisedland this year on a couple events. So keep an eye out for that.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Myself, I'll continue DJing, continue growing, and hopefully touring as a DJ.
Let's go.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I think just that's pretty much it. Just Radar Sounds, myself. I think that's it.
Should you bring back one of those OG questions we used to ask at the very end to guess? It was like,
If
you had, yeah. What would you tell them? Yeah.
What would I tell them?
Yeah.
If I had all the youth, is that the question?
Yeah.
Wait, like as in all the youth, as in like all the youth in the world, or as in like physical youth? Like, like as in teenagers?
What's the difference with
now I want to know the difference between those.
Sorry, I thought you meant like immortality. Like I have all the youth. Like,
All the people.
So I was like, who would I be telling?
What would you tell them?
Yeah. Okay.
You have all the young people in the world.
Okay.
So in front of you, you can ask them one thing. So tell them one thing.
I don't think I tell them anything. We'd have a rave.
That's dope.
have a rave.
I
like
love
that.
it. I love it.
We'd have
like
a
that.
rave. I'd educate them with music. I'd
That's
put them
it.
on to, we'll go on a little journey.
Yeah.
Start
That's
with
that. I
I
put
like
them
like
onto
that.
the real stuff, take them
Yeah.
through, have a little party, and then
Don't
by the
tell
time
us
you
so.
leave, you're
Love that.
educated.
That's what's
it.
up.
That's a good answer. That's my favorite answer so far.
Yeah. I can't remember
that
any of
is
the other
actually-
ones.
What's your
So that's number one.
Very original.
What's your top 3 most recent emojis?
What the heck?
Oh, I'm about to snitch on myself. See, I'm going to preface this by saying that I am very like...
Nah, there's no.
Yeah.
So is this
I was
going?
joking.
Oh, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe.
Number 4 was like,
Number 4 was crazy, yeah?
Actually, do you know what? I'm very, very surprised with myself because it's usually more wild, but it's literally just, it's always a laughing emoji, the kissy face. And
Hello.
I don't know what this is. It's like the one with like tears in the...
Mao, look at the fifth one.
The cute one. No,
yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Look
With
at the
the
fifth one.
tears.
What was it? The
that
cute.
one.
I'm
Which
happy
one?
with the tears. The
Oh,
tears.
I love that one.
Yeah, that one.
That
I
one's
like
very
that.
Wholesome.
See,
Bro.
Very, very
I'm a very
wholesome.
wholesome person.
You can
I
get
love
your
it.
way with that emoji. I'm telling you now.
100% for everything. For everything. It always works.
Oh my days.
I need
Man.
to finish at 2 today.
Hey. That has nothing to do with
Nothing.
me.
Yeah, that's.
At all.
Let's not snitch on
At
ourselves.
all. Nothing.
That's an idiot. But nah, that is dope. Thank you so much for sliding through.
Appreciate it,
so
Higgs.
fun.
Thank you.
Us being able to come into your city as
Been
well.
awesome.
We're going to make it work.
Yeah.
Couldn't work in
100%
Melbourne,
had
so we
to.
decided to
I
fly
had
down
to.
here.
Like, this
No,
has
definitely.
been. They came all the way to Sydney just for me.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
it.
so blessed.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
lucky.
10 hours.
You know.
But for real, like, I've been waiting for this. Like, I've been watching the TikToks. And once again, I'll say, like, the visuals are sick.
You will be on the
Thank
next
you.
round of TikToks.
Yes, you will. You'll be watching yourself.
Find the craziest clips. Man.
Look,
Make it look
all I'm
crazy.
going to say is if anything comes out and you're offended by it,
Ooh.
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring it up with me because I'll deny.
Yeah.
Um,
It wasn't me.
There's no evidence.
Artificial
me.
intelligence.
Yeah.
it was-
Honestly, it's
exactly.
crazy these
Yeah.
days.
This is a fake deep
Yeah.
or deep fake.
Yeah, I said fake deep. Who's
Deep
this?
fake.
Nah, for sure. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate you though.
No,
Hey,
Thanks for having me,
honestly.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow right there. Handle.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And this is a good episode. Make sure you head to stepone.life
Yes.
/ disruption. Get yourself some boxes,
Yup.
underwear, whatever you need. This is CMJ of Australia.
Mm.
And we will catch her at Promisedland 2024.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
Stay
And after that,
grinding.
CMJ of the world, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Peace.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow.